You're walking into a Rube Goldberg of comedy.
Martin and I, we've performed in many a shithole.
I saw like the scenes changing. People have like plans.
It's all me. It's all me, guys. He is so good looking, he doesn't even pronounce words in English.
The challenge in that is you have to build it all yourself.
What's your hot take?
Get this, I think the Ayatollah hates Jews.
100% agree.
Yeah, right.
Cut it from the documentary.
Yeah, so I don't know when you are seeing this, but I just quit my day job. So you're either seeing an amazing documentary about the English comedy scene in Israel, or a documentation of me making the worst mistake of my life, pretty much. I started doing comedy in 2021. I went to an open mic like any stand-up comedian starts. When I started, there were maybe a couple mics other than, you know, like big comedians doing big stages that obviously someone who just started doesn't get invited to. So we had to make do with what we had, pretty much. In the last couple of years, I would say the situation really got way better. For a couple of reasons. We had some people that became famous in English, like Yochai Sponder. We had some big names in Hebrew comedy that started doing in English and drawing crowds into like bringing their audiences, like Shechar Hasson, Ben Baruch, these people who are incredibly famous in Hebrew. And when Israelis see them doing comedy in English, they're like, wow, I didn't know they spoke English. It's like they do, and they're funny. So me, along Mo and Anna, we started this sort of comedy company called Anonymous Comedy because we felt that there was a missing link between all the open mics and the huge names doing, you know, big theaters or whatever. There was a middle ground missing. These like a middle class of comedy of people who are better than open micers, but obviously not as good or not as popular as the big comedians. It's been going great. We started with doing a couple of showcases. We did fundraisers for businesses that were affected by the war. And most importantly, we had so much demand of stage time that we started the open mic that currently is being run by Ben Lefko.
I'm half Israeli, half American comedian. I run and host the Anonymous Comedy Open Mic here at Alpaca. We do it once every 2 weeks. I started comedy in Hebrew. אני מדבר עברית, כאילו, without an accent at all. It took me a while to decide to do stand-up in English. I think it was a bit of a perfectionist mindset, and I'm really happy I've been doing it. Yeah, we used to, Martin and I have go way back in terms of the English scene, and we've performed in many a shithole. Yeah, and slowly the scene has been developing. We've got Anonymous Comedy, that this open mic is literally part of their production. And they very graciously invited me to host and take over. Yeah, I think there's just a lot more shows in English, and with it, the crowd has understood that there's English comedy, and also the comedians, right? Am I talking to myself, or can I talk to you guys also a little bit?
Yeah, I don't know.
The fact that now people understand that there is a place to do comedy, that there's a lot more people asking you about spots. Mm-hmm. We actually, the reason the open mic opened was because they were doing showcases and there was just so many people who wanted to perform. We needed to start like, you know, making sure that if it's the first time they perform, they have somewhere else maybe to crash and burn here at the open mic. Just do 5 minutes. Yeah.
Wait, I'm not mic.
Open it, the other one.
Yeah, there's a couple of comedians that I would say are like fully, I feel like consistently perform in both languages.
Yeah.
It's you, Kobe,
and
doesn't really perform in Hebrew anymore.
It's true.
Cut it from the documentary. It's actually a sensitive topic.
Okay, so cut that shit. I want to be in please. Okay, so
clap again. Clap again. There you go. Thank you.
What I was saying is just like the fact, I think that anonymous comedy, you guys really sort of gave an infrastructure that it's like if you build it, they will come.
That's a lot of it, yes. And it both for comedians and for audiences.
Yes,
I feel like there's also like there's a returning audience that no one believed existed.
it's true.
I remember the first time that we had Ben Baruch, it was during the war shows.
Yeah.
And Anna was hosting, and she just like asked, like, "Hey, like, who's not your first time you've been to an anonymous show?" And like half the crowd like clapped, and he looked at me like it was magic. And by the way, this is the guy. He did a 10,000 people stadium, like 360. He was just sitting on a couch telling stories. People were like, I will pay a lot of money to see this guy.
Yeah.
And he looked at me at a basement with 40 people, and 15 clapped. They came for a second time, and he looked at me. I was like, "What is this magic?"
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's in English specifically, but
Yeah.
the fact that we get people who like comedy in general, that's also kind of why we called it anonymous.
Yeah.
It's not because we are anonymous, which we are, but also because it's like we almost never post the lineups.
Yep. I have to say, in terms of as far as open mics go, it's a very high standard. It's like we manage to pack the place every time.
100%. And wait, that means that there's people that are coming because they trust the product.
Yep.
They understand that it's an open mic. They understand that maybe it's people who are new. They could be good, could be bad. There's people who are like more experienced, and I don't know, like you're gonna get something experimental.
Yeah.
But there you have people who return, and you have people who like
really
keep
like
coming over and over again.
Yeah.
And sure, it's free, but also is staying at home and watching something on Netflix.
Another thing that was important for us was not to only give space for stand-up comedy, but also give a frame for other shows to show up if their idea is good and if they want to put in the work and make them happen and helping them make them happen. One of those was the roast battle. Obviously, no one invented the wheel here. It's a concept that it's been done a lot in Hebrew here. It's been in English, obviously, around the world, in Europe and in the US. But then Zach Zorba, he wanted to put a show with us. He was like, I want to do roast battles here in Israel. And I was like, okay, awesome. You take care of the creative part of the process. You find how to book the comedians and make all the website and the art and whatever you need to do. I like that we give people the chance of, oh, you have an idea. You don't have to start from zero. You can just like jump into our train and just help it, make it better.
First of all, it was super fun. Definitely learned a lot. Like I watched the first battle back and it was like having a first child. Like that was when Shai called me out. You know, there were some rough patches, but the vibe I had was the comedians were laughing. You know, the judges who were, you know, the judgy comedians were laughing, and then the crowd was having a good time. And I had my like 60-something-year-old friend in the front, and he was still laughing. So yeah, and it was like you had commented about some of the comedians. I just like the challenge of writing jokes. Like I love writing. That's what I'm doing, you know. And so to your point though about the logistics, it was very cool that I could take care of the ridiculous, coming up with a theme song, coming up with a ridiculous website, all this stupid shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, can you take care of the microphones? Can you take like the stuff that most people who have the vision, so to speak, on a specific idea is like some of those things. If anonymous comedy or you guys are taking care of it, it's like, sweet, now the show is working. And you guys, from that first show in the basement to this show, that anniversary was like, you guys really did something.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, so we just finished our first roast night in English. Roast battle night in English. How do you've been a judge of also like the Hebrew ones?
Yep.
With a little bit better production.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they go crazy there.
Yeah. So Eyal, you've been also just for context for whatever we're recording. We did a show during an Argentina match of the World Cup.
I don't believe he's really Argentinian, because what type of Argentinian doesn't watch Messi's final World Cup?
But in general, what do you think about like English comedy? How it's been growing in the last couple of years?
Oh, it's been going like crazy.
It's very nice to see all the English speakers come together for like big shows, because there are a lot of English speakers in Israel and Olim and everything. And like only recently it feels like you guys are managing to get them together for show. Yeah, because some shows, you know, it's an English show and there's like 10 people in the crowd. It's like a open mic, like a Hebrew open mic. But English should bring more people, because like, finally something in English.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah.
It should. I think what we found out, what we felt when I was starting was like, oh, there's shows in English. And then I tell my friends, hey, come to the show in English. And then the show sucks. And then they don't want to go to any other show in English.
A few people need to just push it forward, and then it gets bigger. Because other comics, you know, it's just like, oh, there's a show. Okay, I'll write something down 5 minutes before and I'll go up and...
He's famous. Amongst
I'm being heckled during an interview. Like, oh, what's up? I'll see you later. Yeah. I'm in the middle of something.
He is famous amongst open mic Hebrew comedians. He's a god.
Yeah. Open micers love me. Yeah, I'm a coach.
The comedy coach is just, when we put the banner, it do comedy coach outbreak.
That was a full circle. I love the way this evening started. He's a fucking comedy coach, and in the end, I'm a coach.
Guys, if you want to write better jokes than tonight,
I'm a coach.
you can reach out. No, but also I do like that you take it to a different level sometimes. You do trauma comedy nights.
Right.
Those are in Hebrew, but I think at some point we could reach it out to English.
I'm planning on doing an English course in August.
Okay. Trauma comedy?
Trauma comedy.
Okay, you want to tell them what we're talking about?
Yeah, trauma comedy. Comedic writing of trauma is when people, not necessarily comedians, they come and they want to share and process their trauma through humor. And so he doesn't give a fuck. And what we do is we go through a process where we talk about it, we share the stories, we find different perspectives to look at the story, preferably humoristic perspectives. And then at the end we have a show, like a Mofas Siyum, how would you say that?
Like end of the course.
Yeah, that's the phrasing. End of the course.
I don't know. Do I look like a native English speaker? I'm wearing Argentina jersey.
A big thing you should know about Martin, he is so good looking, he doesn't even pronounce words in English when he performs. He just mumbles.
Yeah, and we decided to talk about this in the middle of where people are walking, which is not smart.
They're all traumatic. It's Israel.
By the time this comes out, baby, English comedy trauma is on the way. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yalla?
Yeah,
I'm down for it.
Yeah. I think ironically, one of the things that kind of helped us grow as anonymous comedy, as a brand, as a comedy scene was the war. Obviously, I would say war is a net negative. Heard it here first. But if the war is already happening, and if it's not my fault specifically, why not try to make the best out of it? Specifically during the first Iran war, we grew by making fundraiser shows to help businesses that were affected. But also during the last war, there's too many wars with Iran, so one of them, we decided to keep doing shows at the Alpaca. It was a basement, so it was relatively safe, but also it was the perfect amount of space for the people that was allowed legally at the time. And it ended up being great because those people, suddenly they're not going to the office because there's a war. They're stuck at home. They are going crazy. There's nothing of entertainment other than their TV or their like news or like where's war gonna stop? And suddenly like, oh, there's a comedy night with also the best comedians in Israel, because guess what? Their shows all got canceled. So yes, they were not super happy that instead of doing a huge theater, they were doing a basement, but they're happy there's a stage. They're happy there's a crowd. All in all, I think it was a very good experience. And also by chance, Eitan Levine got stuck with us. And also it was interesting because you got someone who's an outsider, who's not used to this balagan, and suddenly it's like, oh, well, you get to experience this mess through his eyes, and like you get to experience something that maybe you think is normal, like, oh yeah, you just go to the shelter, and he's like, what do you mean you go? There's shelters everywhere. It's like, yeah, there's. Let me show you. There's shelters. It was very fun.
The first times I came here, I would only perform at Funny Mondays.
Yeah.
Then you guys
years.
show up, yeah, probably like 2-ish years ago.
Uh-huh.
And then last year I came and we'd already known each other by that point. So
Yeah.
we set up a show here.
Right.
So it was like more of like an official, like you're headlining here. It went insanely well. And the room has improved physically since
Yeah.
then. You guys have a sign now. The air conditioning is different. It's not better, but it's different.
But it exists now.
Every time I come down there, there's a new finagle. There's some advice. Today down there's a giant dangling silver tube, and that's new.
on top of a small cooling machine.
That is right next to a fan.
If you've seen the ways that Tom tries to kill Jerry, that's how we're trying to go in the room.
You're walking into a Rube Goldberg of comedy every time you go into this place. But it has gotten significantly better. There's a pronounced scene here, which I think is something that people don't understand, is that there's a lot of comics. I mean, there's like, what, it's like 15 people-ish, give or take, that were on an open mic?
And also,
Yeah.
the room was full-ish.
Yeah, with regular people.
Yeah.
That's the thing that New York doesn't have, is regular people at open mics.
Right.
Every time you go to an open mic, it's all comics, except in other cities.
Yeah, and also you were with us during the war, not
Yes.
on purpose. You didn't know.
No, it was actually funny. So I wasn't even planning on doing shows that week, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken. But then I got stuck here for an extra 3 weeks when the war started.
Yeah.
And then we just kept on doing it. Everyone would sell out. And I was
Well,
like, all right, we'll do another one. And then we'll do
yeah.
another one, and then do another one. And then at the end of them, it was actually funny because we went on a run where none of them got interrupted by bomb sirens until the last one.
Yeah.
The last one was a shit show.
The last
But
one
it
was wild.
But it was like fascinating doing the shows and like knowing the route I had to go from my apartment to here, like, because you're going on the bomb shelter route. I don't know who the audience is for this. If it's non-Israelis, there was a very interesting phenomenon that happened where you had to go, anywhere you went, you had to figure out what the bomb shelter route is on the way to get there.
In case
there's a bomb siren that happened.
Right, yeah.
So like this was one of those places where I remember on the way here, you'd also have to add in like 20 extra minutes because you were afraid that if a bomb siren went off, you'd have to sit and then wait 20 minutes and then get out there.
It's like the Seinfeld episode where George knows every public bathroom.
Oh
The
my
nearest
God.
Public bathroom. You just have to know the nearest good shelter.
100%.
Because there are good and bad shelters.
There are. The one over here is amazing.
That was the nice one. The one that we
one-
actually went to in
Yes.
the middle of the show.
That's a beautiful, I'll tell you right now, hey, just caked up shelter. I'm not even joking. This area is just fucking smoke shows.
Well, yeah, this is.
And they're all terrifying. No, it's like the hottest people I've ever seen in my entire life, and we're all in a little space over there. And now over there is actually where I saw my first missile interception.
Right.
Yeah, Daddy's first missile interception was right over
It was
there.
like this corner, like
It was right after a show.
Here, yeah.
And I was walking that way, and we got a bomb siren alert on the phone. And then, you know, I was waiting outside for the second thing, and then all of a sudden, like you do,
You wait outside because why would you wait?
You don't go
inside
in.
the shelter.
like a chud.
That is
Okay? What are you in a rush for? It's like getting up early on a flight. There's no reason to do it. So I'm standing out there, and all of a sudden, whoosh, you know, the thing went up in front of me.
Yeah.
Coolest thing I've ever seen. And I'm an American, so I was seeing my tax dollars.
I just want to say, as a former officer of the Home Front Command, it's not useless. Please go inside.
No, yeah, go inside. Go inside. Here's what I'm saying. I didn't know. Okay, I want to say, no offense to the system, but it didn't. I got the phone thing, and then I'm waiting outside, and the thing shot up before there was a woo thing that happened. So I was doing the right thing. The issue is that then I did stare for a while.
Yeah, I want to see the explosion.
The staring, I would say, is where the Home Front Command specifically tells you not to sit.
Kids, if you're at home, don't say. It's not that cool. Hey, it's so boring.
No,
The
it's
explosions in the sky are so boring.
It's so unfun when one bomb shoots up and then catches another bomb in the sky, which can only be described as a magical feat of technology and engineering.
Right.
You don't want to see it.
There's zero rush in the mix between fireworks and a Russian roulette.
No.
There's no emotion whatsoever.
But do go inside.
please
Things
go
are very.
inside. Please go
I would say also, one of the interesting things that people back home didn't realize is how big those bombs are. It's interesting showing them inside. They're like little buses and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they don't know back
It's almost
home.
like they're trying to kill us.
Yeah. I think the Iranians are a little bit anti-Semitic. That's just my own personal
Hot take.
The IRGC. I don't want the.
What's your hot
Iranians,
take?
I get this. I think the Ayatollah hates Jews.
100% agree.
Yeah, right.
Another big thing that changed is I think that now comedians from abroad are aware that there is an English comedy scene here. I feel like when I started, at least, you had comedians coming to visit and coming to the shows and maybe like small tours. And they would either bring their own openers, not have any openers. And now we had several comedians that come to perform, not necessarily with us, with Anonymous, like Eitan Levin, but like other comedians that come to do like bigger shows or bigger tours. And they just source their opening comedians from here. They know that there's a strong English comedy scene. So be it an Israeli comedian or like a Ole comedian, they know that they can find someone here who's gonna be their style and the kind of opening that they want for their show. And for us is an awesome opportunity because it puts me in front of people that maybe they wouldn't have never know that I existed.
You get better in craft, like you're getting better in what you're doing. And I think today people take themselves more seriously, maybe because of your high, maybe because they saw you can have goals.
Right.
You can get some achievement.
Oh, you were talking about like Israeli comedians. They were doing comedy in English, like for the fun, or to like do something different, or to maybe improve in Hebrew. But now
and
they're
to get
like
more sports, mostly.
more sports, right? Yeah, because it's not. There's not such a huge.
It's not a
comedy
huge
scene.
scene. It's just mostly one city.
Yeah.
And then you want to do more than once or two or three a week. If you're good, you're gonna do 5 in Hebrew.
Yeah.
But I wasn't good.
Right. You're not. You're not.
Yeah.
You're
Exactly.
working your way up.
Exactly. So as many spots I could get, I saw like the scenes changing. I thought like in the beginning it was like just maybe 15 people, and now it's much bigger and people have like plans. Like 5 years ago, people didn't have plans. They just wanted to do stand-up. So it would be in Hebrew, it would be in English, and it's just more like a
Hobby.
stage time.
Yeah.
Not as a hobby, I think, because I think you get better in Hebrew comedy even if you do English comedy. For me, it's like make me feel like I'm part of the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I make people from Asia, Africa, whatever, they understood my joke, I'm part of the society.
Yeah. You connected.
Exactly. In Hebrew, it's limited. We're tiny.
8
population.
million.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we're here opening for Ami
Ami
tonight. Yeah. Which is also, that's, I think, also a great compliment. It happened to me with another comedian. That is like someone from the US is like, oh, I need an opener. He checks out all the comedians and goes like, Kobe Balul, I want him.
And as long as you are into the craft, all you want to do is get affirmation, you said? Confirmation?
Confirmation.
Yeah,
It's also my signal language.
Right. Right. So all you want is to people tell you.
This is the glamour of show business, guys.
Like I don't like, oh, wow, that's amazing. You've been chosen. Of course I've been chosen. Amazing. I'm doing it, you know, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So I see it, like, what was your first opening, like, that someone invited you to open in, like, a proper event?
Like, proper event? I'm thinking, Anahon! Yo, Kobe took me to a wedding, and they were getting, it was the weirdest place. It was the basement of Bet Knesset.
Yeah.
And they got married upstairs, and then they all went downstairs, and there were like 5 tables.
I remember the stairs.
Yeah.
I was so panicked. I was so
we
scared.
got there 2 hours early. It was we were waiting there for so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, but also like that's what I love. It's like the bonding time of like going through the awkward together and like having this shared experience. Yeah.
So second language in comedy, how is it for you?
For me, English is the language of comedy. Like stand-up is made for English. There's a lot of different things that are made for Hebrew comedy. That is like, I think Hebrew comedy is way more about sketch, characters, impressions, accents. It's not so much about like, in English it's all these like nuanced little things and playing with the words.
But I don't think it's about the comedian. I think it's about the audience more than...
Also, yes.
Yeah.
Big
it's
time.
Like
yeah.
In the culture of stand-up,
yeah.
In the United States, in England, I did shows in England.
Yeah.
I did very bad sometimes. And people still, they didn't laugh, but they were listening.
Right, yeah.
Which won't happen in Israel.
No.
If you're very bad for 5 minutes, for 6 minutes, it's like you're dead.
Yeah, you're dead, and
People
they start
will
shouting
talk,
things,
exactly.
and they're like, yeah.
And then in English, it's like your pleasure. It's like you're doing it with fun. You can be, I can say many things that I won't say in Hebrew, in English.
That's also what I found about a lot of comedy in Israel. The comedian is always
winning at the end. And if you go to like the UK, the comedian is always losing at
I'm
the
a
end.
loser in Hebrew as well.
Well, yeah, but I feel like that's but that's an uphill battle. Like you're against the current, against the
Yeah, we are
the weight.
Israeli comedians are winners.
Fucking,
I'm
and I'm awesome, and there's jokes inside.
Yeah.
But the moral of the story is, guys, I won the battle.
Yeah.
Right?
it's
So
true.
it's
It's true.
an American maybe they can go either way. British comedians, they want a loser. They
Yeah.
want a guy that's like, and I fell and I stepped on shit and my life is horrible. And they were like, one of us.
Yeah.
One of us. I think we need to go to the show.
I think me too. Thank you so much.
Ami, you're here during this tour. You've been here before in Israel. You performed. We met actually in this same room during Funny Monday with Yochai and Shachar.
Yes.
How did you see the comedy scene? How did you see the comedy crowds? Did you see any change, any improvement, any differences?
I'm very excited and encouraged by what I see in the comedy scene in Tel Aviv. I think it's really cool that you have all of these sort of, we live in a world now where entertainment is kind of fractured and everyone has the power to build their own audiences. This isn't like the 90s or early 2000s where there were only a few main staple entertainers that everybody knew and they were decided upon by gatekeepers because there was a big risk. So you only saw certain people and they had to get a sitcom, a TV show, something major that had a mass audience. And today you can be, with the digital age, famous to 2,000 people who are obsessed with you. And only those 2,000. And the challenge in that is you have to build it all yourself. But the benefit is you have to build it all yourself. And you have that kind of power. Yeah. So coming to Israel and seeing the scene, it's just amazing because it's sort of a perfect example of a microcosm of what's possible. You have people who've built their audiences locally here in Israel. And now they're shifting to English. And it kind of is a little bit humbling, but it's also cool because you go back to baseline and you kind of use this sort of expert, experienced craft and sensibility that you have in Hebrew, but you're applying it to English. So I can see why it's an interesting challenge, but it's really exciting for all of us who are English speakers, of course. But to be able to come here and just see excitement behind stand-up comedy.
And also we talked about like the differences in the problems of the comedians yesterday. We did a show in Jerusalem and I was like, dude, I have this problem. I have to do miluim at the same time that I'm moving. And you're like, the problems in the US for the comedians are so different.
Yeah, you came to me and, you walk into the green room and this happens all the time in a show. A bunch of comics assemble and, somebody's fetching, it's often a female. No. You come into a thing, it's just like, oh my God, how much am I doing tonight? 10 minutes? Okay, 10 minutes. Jeez, I don't even know what I'm doing. Sorry, I had a day. And it's like my landlord's an asshole. Oh my God, my roommate's crazy. I got stuck on the subway. It's so hot in New York. I hate this. Like my job, I'm quitting my day job. And I'm asking you what's wrong. You're like, yeah, I had a day. You're like, what? I may have to go to war again. I might have to go to Lebanon tomorrow. I really don't want to because I have a spot and I don't want to go to Lebanon.
I've been to war and this time war is just inconvenient to my schedule.
Oh my God, I know what you mean. Same thing happened to me. I was called up to a show I didn't want to do.
So if you notice that the scenery has changed, this is because we pretty much finished recording the whole documentary and we had to do a segment here at the Shachar Hassan open mic. Shachar Hassan is arguably the biggest comic in this country. And he started doing comedy in English around 10 years ago. He would translate word by word to shows from Hebrew to English. Now he's obviously like more fluent and he can improv and he feels this is an open mic, quote unquote open mic. There's 400 people there inside who paid money to see him and whoever comedian he brings along. And the fun of it is that anyone can do this show. Like, I've been doing it for a couple of years. There's people who come here to like just try their material. They've been doing it for 20 years and they just come to do 5 minutes. But also, if this is your first time doing comedy and you just want to get on stage, you could do your first 5 minutes in front of like over 100 people.
I've been performing here for about almost 20 years. There was no comedy scene here. I used to go to Mike's place. It was all music. I performed there. I would come here on his like Wednesday night shows. I was the only English speaker. I got 3 to 4 minutes and I just did it in English because that's what there was. I've got video of me like getting heckled by some 18-year-old. It was all kids. It was all teenagers. So, it was one of those like, if you want it bad enough, you're going to do it. And there was no scenes. You just had to perform over. There were poetry slams on Bugrashov. That was it. There was really no one doing it. This open mic before it was here, it was at Jessica, which is on the beach. It was awful. It was so bad that I stopped going there, even though that was pretty much the only place to go. It started about 11:15 on Sunday night. I remember thinking, what English speaker is going to want to go? But I now appreciate that's probably only when Shachar could do it. It was pretty bad, but that's where Shachar started working as English, I guess.
Basically, like, meant to be an open mic, but there's like 5,000 people. No, there's like 200 people here. It's completely packed. It's a lot of Shachar doing stand-up in English. It's bloody hilarious. He doesn't speak perfect English, but it's pretty bloody good. And then we pop in and do like 5 minutes each of us. It's a lot of fun. It's a really great opportunity for us to get a shot on a big stage with a huge crowd. And Shachar's like always amazing, welcoming all of us, from people that are just doing it for the first time to like people that have been doing it for 20 years. I mean, Shachar is like Kevin Hart of Israel. So people come and they don't always speak English. So he always asks, do you guys speak English? And then like 15 people stand up and leave. I'm exaggerating, but they don't speak English. And he always makes a joke that they come because, they get cheap tickets to see Shachar Hassan. I think as English-speaking comedians, we're just always looking for a stage. Like we have to hustle and find places. So having opportunities like at Shachar's is like amazing for us. Otherwise, we just start our own shows.
חברים, אני מבקש, לכו לחדר הלבשה בינתיים.
We could not finish an English documentary about.
It's a documentary?
It's a documentary.
Okay.
It's funny, but it's a documentary.
Okay.
We really wanted to talk to you because a lot of people feel, including myself, that you're like the Uncle Shachar, like the uncle of the English comedy here. I remember specifically, I didn't know it yet, but now that I remember, I was at Jessica in 2015.
Wow.
I met a girl from Taglit and I went on a date and we were there and we were just like having beers like on the outside part of Jessica.
And you didn't know that you want to be a comedian then?
No idea.
But you know that you want to be with her.
I was. It worked. Thank you for it.
It's all me. It's all me, guys. And you are together and you have kids right now.
That's a whole different person.
It's not, never mind, but it's good for the documentary that it all started at Jessica.
Yeah.
You met your wife there, the love of your life, and now you're together and you have a kid and his name is Shachar. So I just want to say that first of all, I'm happy. Sometimes in life, you need to create small waves that will hit somebody and shake him a little bit, and then he will move. So the thing that we started at the Jessica Bar, it was little waves that we did, and we start to spread, and now we have like, you can see the lineup, we have like the whole week shows in English, in Russian, in Spanish, and it's amazing. And the thing is that because a lot of people came to Israel because of the war, and they did Aliyah, so I feel that they have a house to perform at. The scene in Israel is amazing for stand-up in English.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like,
so,
especially if you compare it to what it was back then in Jessica.
Yes, we had only one night. Excuse me. We started with line in a comedy off the wall. It was once a week, every Tuesday. It was a little place in Jerusalem. David used to you remember that he used to do broccoli with cheese in the microwave. He used to serve it. So the place was small, no AC, no ventilator, and the whole place, you remember the broccoli with the cheese? And before you go on stage, you can't breathe. Guys. And it was an open mic to English, to comedy, and to music, and to dancing, and to the broccoli. And now it's open mic in English. Yeah. And now we have shows in English. We have great comedians that doing it in English. And Sponder and me, we have Funny Monday. Yeah. And with me and Sponder, we performed all over the world as and I feel that this something, it's another little thing that connect Jews. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. Connect us together. When I perform here and I see you and I see Benji and I see Deb and I see Hani Scotch and I see all the comedians, it makes my heart so proud, and I know that Like in Israel, you know this. You have a dream to be a comedian.
Yeah.
So you say, well, when you want to go to New York to do stand-up in English, no, you can do it here.
Yeah.
Okay, you can work on your art here. And before the war, we had a lot of comedian guests that came from all over the world.
Yeah.
You know, and it
Yeah.
was amazing. And I'm happy. You do an amazing job. And your friend, what's your name? Johnny. And so I'm happy.
So being able to show you guys the biggest open mic that I've ever seen outside of Kill Tony, and also being able to talk to Shachar and to like have a couple of words from the guy who pretty much seeded and created the English scene here in Israel is magic. I think the main thing I learned during these years doing comedy in English here in Israel, and the same thing that I relearned when we started doing this small documentary with Johnny. Johnny just reached out, let's do a documentary in English. I've never done anything close to this. And he was like, well, just start shooting and then we'll figure it out. Just start doing and then we'll figure it out. That was kind of how it's been working. Obviously, at some point you need a plan, but don't over plan it. Just start doing it. Like, you like comedy, get on a stage. You want to start a show, find a bar and go annoy them until they let you just host an open mic. Just start doing. You will either figure it out on the way, or you will learn what not to do next time. That being said, this is my last week on my day job, so I really hope that this is, you know, one of those like documentaries like, oh look, you know Martin, the famous comedian, 10 years ago he did this documentary when he was started, and not something that my coworkers at the office find in 10 years and it's like, you used to do comedy, and I was like, I don't want to talk about it.
Thanks for watching. If you watch.
This is the end of the documentary.
If you watch. If you don't watch, it's okay. But just want you to know that if you're watching, so thanks.
Thank you for watching.
And you never know when it's gonna end, because until you keep watching, it's still happening.
This is like the open mic. It's like you never know it's
Two
gonna.
more people.
Two more people, guys.
Two more people.